Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah and today I am going to be doing Books and Lala's scavenger hunt to find my next read. So I thought this would be kind of fun. I have read 3 of my books from my monthly TBR already this month, and I have not started my Aurelium books yet, but I thought it would be kind of fun to break things up, things that I have to read with doing the scavenger hunt. So the first prompt is grab your favorite book, go to the acknowledgements, and the first name you see, find a book by an author with the same name. One of my favorite books from 2023 was The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sango Mandana. So I gave this one 5 stars, and it kind of got me started with the whole fantasy romance type books. So I'm going to go to the acknowledgements. Okay, there they are. And the first name that I see. Okay. So there's Steve. And I don't think I have any books by any Steves. Jessica. I don't have any books by Jessica. Penny. I don't think I have any books by Penny. Alexis. Don't think I have any books by an Alexis either. Katie. Let's see. Oh, I do have Katie. I do have a Katie. Hold on. Katie. Okay, so I have The Cloisters by Katie Hayes. Okay, so got Katie from this and then Katie Hayes. So the next prompt is pick something on that cover and find another book with the thing in the title. So there's vines, moon, looks like the moons, the gold, flowers. There are little flowers on here. So flowers in the title. Last Tale of the Flower Bride. Flowers, vines. I don't think I have anything with the vines. But I do have, I can get it out with one hand. Oh, I have The Last Tale of the Flower Bride by Rashani Chakshi. So go to page 50, line 5, pick a word from that line and find a title with that word. Okay. So page 50, line 5, I actually almost turned right to it. Line 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I did not remember closing it. Oh, that's a hard one. Sorry, I have books that are over there that I'm looking at. I did not remember closing it. This is a hard one. I have Not That Kind of Ever After. I did not. Sure, let's go with this one. So find a 5-star read with the same colors on the cover. So there's pink and purple and white. A 5-star read. Oh goodness. 5-star read with the same colors on the cover. Purple and pink. I don't have very many romances yet. 10,000 Drawers of January, I gave 4 stars. Practice Makes Perfect, I gave 4. Sorry, the angles on this are all jacked up because I'm looking. Strange the Dreamer is kind of a bluish. Muse of Nightmares is purple and white. Turn so that way the glare isn't as crazy. So this one, absolutely a 5-star read, and it has purple and white on the cover as shimmery, so it's kind of hard to see it, but I'm gonna go with Muse of Nightmares. So then it's find a book you would recommend that is similar. Oh, similar to Muse of Nightmares. So Muse of Nightmares is, oh, it's been a long time since I read this book. Kind of gods. God, there's just not anything, I've never found anything that had like world building like Lady Taylor does in her books. Her books are amazing that way. But it's going into dreams, how she's able to, like a dream walker type magic. And the moths. She can look through the eyes of the moths. A book that I would recommend that is similar to Muse of Nightmares. Oh, goodness. Other than Laini Taylor's other books, I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with a book that I actually just finished, and that is God Killer by Hannah Kaner. This one has obviously the gods and this whole world building, and it's not exactly similar by any means, but it's similar enough that I think I'm gonna go with this one because it's kind of hard to compare anything to Laini Taylor's writing, especially because like I'm moving away from the YA fantasy, so there's not a lot of the YA fantasies that I like. And this one has really unique, like magical things with being able to talk to the different gods for different ways of helping and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go with God Killer. And then it says, take the most common letter seen in the title and find an author whose name starts with that letter. So the only letter that's in here twice is L. So an author whose name starts with L. So I have Lisa C., Lauren Sebastian, Laini Taylor with L. I think I'm gonna go with Lisa C. So we have Lady Tan's Circle of Women, which I have yet to read, but I'm gonna go with this one. And then our next prompt is find a book with the same number of pages. This book has a ton of acknowledgements. Why haven't I read this one yet? It has 339 pages. It looks like. So 339. Let's see. Okay, so we have 339. How many pages? I have, the last time I lied. This one's over 380, so not quite. The Deep, it's 371, still too many. I have Witch of Wild Things. Not quite, we're at 304. 339, that's about station 11. 333, so that's the closest I've found. Oh, okay, so A Rip Through Time has 340 pages, so it's one off, so I'm gonna go with A Rip Through Time. And then it says flip to any page, the first name you see, find a book by an author who shares that name. Crap. Okay. Gray. Do I have any gray? Dorian Gray? Picture of Dorian Gray? No, wait, that's the character, not the author. Okay, maybe this wasn't the book to pick. McCready, Evans. I feel like I have a book by an Evans, but I can't think of what. Okay, try again. Katrina Ward, but I don't have any of her books. I shouldn't have picked this one. Okay, let me pick a different book. So 339 is what we're looking for. Dead Silence. One of my favorite books of all time. Oh my god, look at that. Look at that. 339, the very last page. Dead Silence. Okay, let's try this. Open to a random page, the first name you see. Kane. That's not gonna work. Lord. That's not gonna work. Vera. Do I have any books by Vera? I don't think so. I don't think so. Okay, try again. Max. Do I have any books by Max? I don't think so. Claire. You would think some of my historical fictions or something would have a Claire. That's Meg. And Hazel. And Heather. I don't think so. I don't think I have any by Claire. Reed. Donovan. I'm really just naming off all the characters in the book at this point. No. Okay, I'm gonna have to pick a different book again because I cannot find anything. So, 339. Back to the drawing board. 339. This one, Station 11, it had 333. So, V and A. That won't work. Miranda. There's Megan Miranda, but I don't have any of her books. I've never read any of her books. I have Melissa. I don't think so. I don't think that'll work. Okay, try again. Jenny. That's not gonna work either. Jeevan. That definitely won't work. Arthur. Arthur Conan Doyle. I actually just so happen to have an Arthur Conan Doyle. So let's go grab it. Okay, so I have The Hounds of the Baskervilles by Arthur Conan Doyle. And so find another title with the same number of letters. 25. Okay, we're gonna look for a title with 25 letters in the title. Okay, Forest of Vanishing Stars. We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Holy crap. Very first try I got The Forest of Vanishing Stars by Kristen Harmel. This is 25 letters in the title. Okay, so find a book with a similar cover. Any historical fiction ever. It's a girl that you're looking at from the back. She has a jacket on, a scarf, and there's planes in the background. So yeah, pretty much any historical fiction. The War Girls by V.S. Alexander. The German Heiress by Annika Scott. The Woman with Two Shadows. She's wearing more of a suit though, not a coat. And my battery is flashing at me. All right, so I'm gonna go with The War Girls by V.S. Alexander. I'm so excited to read this one. Flip to a random page, point at a word, and find that word in a book title. So, okay. Random letter. We must. Okay. And I actually have right next to it, I have I Must Betray You by Brutus Cepidus. This is a YA historical fiction. I believe it takes place in Romania. Yeah, Romania in 1989. So this is the book that I will be reading with you guys, and I will update you once I start it and give you my thoughts. The journey through the books to get to this one. Hey guys, okay, so I have officially started I Must Betray You. Like I said, this is by Brutus Cepidus. It is about 17-year-old Christian, what's his last name? Florescu. He wants to be a writer. He knows English. He lives in 1989 Romania, and he got caught trading stamps because he supposedly got American money for this stamp, and he got caught for it and got into trouble, and instead of having worse consequences come from it, he was basically recruited to be an informant to the police in Romania on an American family that his mother is a maid for them, and basically learn about them and what they're doing, and if there's things that they shouldn't be doing that they are and whatnot. And I am like 54 or so pages into this. I'm on chapter 16. Yeah, so I'm 56 pages into this. I'm on chapter 16. I'm so bored. I am so bored. All that has happened is that they made him an informant and he went on a date with a girl that he likes. That's all that's happened. It's talking about how restrictive life in Romania is. It talks about them not having full access to electricity, to water, to hot water, to food, being very limited on things that they can say or do, or jobs that they have. They're very restricted. They're very controlled, and he kind of secretly questions all of that. They have these movie nights where they can get movies roughly translated into English, and he made a comment that what he noticed with the movies is that people in America have a lot of freedoms. They can complain about things, they can feel about how they want to feel, they could eat what they want to eat, they could do what they want to do when they want to do it. And he says he doesn't have, and they don't have that. So it's very restricted, it's very controlled. But yeah, like the writing style is fine, and this is YA, but I am so bored right now that like I don't want to keep reading this. Like I want to keep reading it for this video, but I don't really want to keep reading this. I'm so bored. And so far nothing has happened. So I'm gonna try and read a bit more. At this rate, it might end up being a DNF, which really is unfortunate for this video, but you can't predict things like that. So it would be unfortunate, but I am going to try and read some more of this, see if things pick up. And I mean, this book isn't very long. It's not quite 300 pages. I want to stick it out and try it, but I don't know. I'm going to keep reading and just kind of see where it takes me and see how things go. I will check back in with you when I have some more thoughts. Hopefully things will start happening and I'll actually start to care, because right now I just really don't care. So I will check back in with you later. Hey guys, so it's now Thursday morning and I am up to 178 pages in I Must Betray You. So I only have right around 100 pages left. So this book is very, very slow paced. It's about Christian, who, like I said before, he's 17 and living in Bucharest, Romania, and they're very controlled. And he has a notebook that he keeps with all of his thoughts and things about what's going on around him, what he sees, what he feels, what's happening. And he has decided to try and, I guess, fight back in his own way. He has decided to try to leave this notebook about everything that's happening with an American man that his mom cleans house for. She's a maid in their household. He's supposed to be like the next U.S. ambassador over there. And Christian had made friends with this American guy's son, Dan, and was supposed to be informing on him, but he had actually kind of had a friendship grow with him. So he's decided to leave this notebook with him, try to fight back and get some freedom for him in Romania. So like I said, this book is extremely slow, but it is really well written. It's definitely YA, and you can sense that, and especially with like Christian talking about having a crush on this girl, Liliana. That's really a huge part of why it's so young and why it reads so young. But he's 17, so it's not like really bad. But it's definitely YA, so like it reads really quick. The chapters are really short. They're like, 2 to 5 pages long, right around there. So it reads really fast. And it is interesting because they're so oppressed and this is just in 1989. So this is like not that long ago, but they're so oppressed that they're having to fight for food and medicine, and they keep packs of Kent's cigarettes to use to trade as currency, basically, to try and get things. And there's a woman that lives in her that lives in their building, that she's dying, and so her daughter comes from Boston to be there for her mom, and she's talking about how she wants her mother cremated so that way she can take her to America with her now that she has an American husband and she lives in the States and whatnot. She wants to be able to bring her mother's ashes back with her, but she says, how many Kents am I going to need for them to turn the gas up to make sure that she's fully cremated so that way she can come with me? And that's insane. That's insane. Having to have cigarettes and worry about whether or not your loved ones are going to be fully cremated because they don't want to use the gas to cremate them. Like, it's insane. So it's really interesting, and it's something I don't know anything about this. I didn't know anything about the history going into this book. I didn't know anything about Romania in 1989, and that's the point. I mean, that's the whole point of books like this, is to open up your eyes so you can realize some of the things that happened in other countries in other times and learn about something that you didn't know about, which is, I think, the incredible thing with historical fiction, because you get a compelling story, but you also have those bits of fact that are interwoven in these books that really, they make you think, because it's stuff that you don't always recognize. I say this to my dad all the time with the World War II historical fiction, that when I was in high school, World War II was just kind of glazed over. We didn't really talk in depth very much about it. I read Diary of Anne Frank when I was in 8th grade, and I hated it. We also read the comic book Mouse. It was about the concentration camps like Auschwitz. And we touched on it a little bit, but there were a lot of things that were not even covered. There's another World War II book that I read years ago that was called The Taster. That's by V.S. Alexander, and one of my favorite historical fiction authors, right there with Kate Quinn. But it talks about a girl who, her job is to taste Hitler's food before he eats it to make sure it's not poison. So she has to learn to recognize poisons by their scent or by their taste or whatever. And that book was so good, and it's something I never knew about before. And that's the same thing, like I said, with this. I didn't know anything about the history of Romania in 89, and so this is all completely new to me, and it's crazy to think how recent that really is, because it's 30 years ago, you know? So it's just, it's wild. It's wild to think about. And like I said, this book is very, very slow, and I was very bored at the beginning, but now things are picking up. Tensions are high. Christian doesn't know who he can trust or if he can trust anyone. He doesn't know what he can say to people. His grandfather told him, nobody is a confidant. There is no such thing as a confidant in Romania at this time, because you don't know who's going to inform on you. You don't know who's going to tell what to whom and who's going to see things or whatever. You don't know who's going to report what or who's going to hear things. So they're having to really watch their step and everything that they do. And so I don't know, I wasn't liking this to start with, but I'm starting to like it more as I go on with it. And like I said, it's very interesting. So I'm going to finish this up today. Hopefully I will be able to edit this video and get it up today or tomorrow. That's my goal. But yeah, I'm having a good time with it. It's really interesting. It's only 7:10 right now, so I have all day to read. I'm trying to read as much as I can while it's quiet and all the kids are still asleep. So yeah, so I will check back in with you when I finish this. Right now, I don't know what I'm gonna rate this. Because like I said, the beginning of it's been really slow. So I don't know what I'm gonna rate this, which is always kind of fun because you never know how it's gonna end up. But I'm gonna finish this up and then I'll check back in with you guys later. Alright guys, so I just finished I Must Betray You by Ruta Sepetys, and I think I'm gonna land at like a 3.75 for this. The ending, or like the second half of this book, is where things really kicked off. A lot of things happened, some things fell apart, there's betrayals, there's mistaken betrayals, there's a lot of misunderstandings, and things really come to a head, and it got really interesting, and it was really interesting to read about. Like I said though, the first half of this book is extremely slow. I didn't feel like I connected a ton with the characters, but at the same time, I'm not 17. It's been a while since I've been 17, and it's not written specifically for me. It's not written for someone my age. It's written for a younger audience, so I can understand that. But it was also, there were very strong family connections in this. There was very much questions of whether your family members were actually telling your secrets and like giving the security and the police officers and whatnot information about your home and your household and your family members. So like in this book, it's not just betraying friends or colleagues or students in your school or anything like that. It's a question of, is my sister telling people things that are going on? Is my father doing this? Is my sister doing this? Is my mom doing this? Am like what's going on? And so there's a lot of betrayal in this. There's a lot of questionable morals. There's a lot of control and stuff like that. So it was really interesting to see that. And I like the way that she ended this, where, because she says in the author's note that there's a lot of things the Securitate in the files for the Securitate that have been changed or that still haven't been uncovered, and that they're still looking into that. And she wanted to have that sense of an open-endedness in this book, and she really did that. There's still things that the main characters don't know, things that are still unanswered, questions that are still unanswered even to this day. And I thought that that was done really well. I thought that the writing was done well. It wasn't extremely young feeling for the most part. You could definitely tell that it's YA. It's short chapters. The main characters are 17. There's the relationship of a teenager and whatnot. But overall, it wasn't like in your face a young adult book. And I like that. So, like I said, I think I'm going to land at a 3.75 for this. I am not the intended audience for this book. However, I thought it was really interesting. And it shed some light on a subject that I didn't know anything about. And I always like that. So, overall, this video is just short and sweet. It's just one book with doing the scavenger hunt. I'm really glad that I read this, because I don't know when I would have picked it up otherwise. I've been wanting to ever since I bought it, but it's just never quite fit. I've never been in the mood for it specifically. And so I'm really glad that I finally picked it up and I finally read it and learned some new things that I didn't know before. So, like I said, this video is just short and sweet with the scavenger hunt and reading the book, but I'm really glad that I read it. And I hope that you guys have enjoyed watching me try and figure out and navigate this scavenger hunt, because a lot of those prompts were a lot harder than I expected them to be. But it's been really fun. And please, if you liked this video, like and subscribe down below. I have my Amazon wish list, my Instagram and all that if you want to follow me there as well. And if there is any books that you would think that I might like, historical fiction or otherwise, if you've read any books by Rita Sepetys, let me know. She's not an author that I've heard a lot about, but I think that she writes some really interesting books. And I think that's it. So again, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and you would like to see more from me, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.